Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you so much for logging on and tuning in, for clicking on a link. However you got here, we're glad you came. We're going to ask one more favor, though. Hit subscribe and the little bell so that you can come back over and over again. We have got authors, artists, filmmakers, musicians, creative minds of all kinds, content creators from all over the World Wide Web. And we are here right now at the Indie Bookfest in Orlando, Florida. And we're hanging out with author Jill Stacey, the author of Never Been More Free.
Thank you
It's
for
an awesome
inviting
title,
me, Garrett.
by the way. So thanks for coming over and hanging out with us.
My pleasure.
Never Been More Free. Tell us about this book.
Well, the title, Never Been More Free, is a little telling about what the story is about, but not enough, so I'm here to tell you more.
I like that. We like more. The internet's ravenous. They love more of
Right,
everything.
but I'm not going to give away too much because, of course, I want the readers to read.
Yes.
All right.
Go down below, click on the link, get the whole book. And why? Because Jill Stacey. She's going to tell you why.
Yes. Also, I'll put in a shameless plug. My next book is being launched in September, and that's called She's Never Been More Free. It's not a series, it's a spin-off, and
Okay.
either one can be read first or second.
Okay,
But
so
right now, Never Been More Free is out there.
Awesome. All right,
And
so give us kind of the book blurb.
So the overarching theme is the pursuit or desire for freedom. Most people have that, so it's a book that will appeal to a wide audience.
Okay.
It's got the ABCs. Abuse, abuse, and abuse. You know, a little bit of humor. No, I don't want to sound too macabre, but it's there's alcohol dependency characters. There's blame and shame. There's compulsive gambling in one of the characters. There's family dynamics, all wrapped in.
Wow. You packed a lot of stuff.
I packed a lot of stuff, and there's more. There's sexual abuse, but there's also the 3 S's: sensuality, sexuality, and seduction.
Wow.
There's humor, and basically it's a novel, it's fiction, but
it's
a
life.
writer writes about what they know, and every person I've come in contact with who's been generous enough to share their story with me and their friendship with me, I even thank my foes in the acknowledgement in my book, have given me the impetus and also the material to write about. The book is 265 pages, and what I'm most proud of, Garrett, is at the end, I put under the heading Book Club Discussion Prompts. There's about 20 some odd questions that refer to the characters in the book, but really what this book is meant to be is a change agent for people to think about these family dynamics, these things that happen to all of us, and to maybe, especially in this Me Too movement.
There's a lot of issues packed into this book.
There is.
Like you said, there's the upsides. There's sexuality and sensuality and humor and fun, but life doesn't consist of just those things. Life is our ups and our downs, and you seem to find just about every down you could find. And
you got it. Well, it's jam-packed with action and adventure, but it's basically a love story of the 2 main characters, Gordon Richfield and Beth Rosen.
Okay.
They meet in college at Emory University in Atlanta, and they have a life, and she's got crazy parents, and he's got issues with her alcohol dependency, and it just starts there.
There's a lot of real life happening in your book.
Yes. Yes, it's a lot of real life.
Was that
like
an intentional
I said,
decision when you went in and you said, I'm going to tell this story, but I'm going to tell it real. I'm going to tell it
I'm
true.
telling it real, but I'm not telling anyone what's my story and what's everybody else's story.
Okay, I like that.
I mean, I am getting phone calls and says, oh, I'm glad you changed my name, you know.
No, but that speaks well to how you wrote the characters, the fact that somebody saw themselves.
Yes.
Somebody saw their life or their plight or their victory or their failure in that character means that they related to what you
know,
wrote.
as an author yourself, that the author is every character because it's coming out of our brain and out of our heart.
It's there. It's a fear, it's a want, it's a desire, it's a hope, but it's in here.
Exactly. But the situations of my life and everyone else's life that has shared their life with me is all bundled up into these fictitious characters, into this fictitious story that takes you from Atlanta to New York and back again.
Wow.
And then there's like I said, the spin-off, She's Never Been More Free, because people were asking me, oh, wow, what happened to Gordon and why did that happen and who is she? And so I had 15,000 words written in this book about that. And then one of my readers said, you know what, that's a whole nother book. I said, this is my first book. I don't know if I have another one in me. But sure enough, now 65,000 words later.
Writer's right. Once you have the bug, welcome to the community.
Thank
We're
you
glad
so
you're
much.
here because you can't help yourself now.
That's
Stories,
right. That's right.
Once you become a storyteller, stories begin to manifest themselves in your mind. And we can see just, I love what you did with your title, Never Been More Free, because it approaches freedom as a state of mind.
Right. My motto is courage equals freedom. Because even though you might feel free, you're financially free, you're now an adult or living on your own and you have whatever you have.
Tangible freedom.
It's exactly.
It still happens up here.
It's flighting and exactly.
Yeah, it still does. It still happens up here because we have a tendency as human beings to edit out our own freedoms. We do it through relationships, we do it through addictions, we do it through jobs. We find ways of forfeiting that freedom in order to gain a sense of personal security, that everything's going to be okay because I'm in this contained world, whether it's a relationship that's looking after me, or a job that's taking care of me, or an addiction that may be harming me. And the idea of being more free, of taking responsibility in your mind for your personal freedoms and decisions is an amazing idea. And the idea that you recognize that enough through all of the storytelling to make that your title.
Yes, and I hope that you, when you read it, and all of the readers out there when they read it, really see how they can turn their troubles into triumphs and know that courage equals freedom.
That's awesome. Courage is freedom. I like that. I like that notion. If for no other reason, because it works both ways. Courage is freedom. Courage does equal freedom, but it takes courage to be free.
Right.
If you don't have courage, you can't have freedom.
Correct.
Because being
That's
out
the
there on
bottom
your
line.
own is a scary principle.
And that was why I wrote the book. I came across a life event that I had to gain a lot of courage from, and I did, and the story just spilled right out of me.
Knowing the issues that are in your book as personally as you do, and knowing people, and you had catalysts for these characters and for these situations. When you were writing, was there a moment that was more or less difficult for you to put out into words?
No, the difficulty was, at the beginning, it was written in the first person, even though it was fiction.
Yeah.
And I'm involved with a literary community at Nova University in Davie, Florida. And through their help, they said, you know what, this is going to be better in the third person. And at that time, I only had probably 3 or 4 chapters written. And so I switched it very quickly and just blew it off the charts from there. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it worked out really well.
Point of view and perspective in a story is incredibly important, and about 90% of the stories that are out there that you think are memorable are in the third person, because sometimes you have to step back a moment to see a situation
It
objectively.
allows us to make it richer,
and
to fill in the blanks more.
That's right.
Right.
Ever so slightly, ever rarely, a first-person story gets in your head because it is rare.
Right.
Because it's used so infrequently.
Right. Those are my favorite kind to read, and that's why I started that way.
I tell people all the time, I wish I could write it in the first person.
Right.
Some of the stories that I like to tell or insert into a story require that internal
Well, are you that
thought.
detective you write about?
No. My problem is that every time I try to tell a story in first person, my college Comm 1 teacher sits in the back of my brain and she smacks me really hard upside the back of my head.
Okay.
And she's always there.
I've
She's
got
annoying.
that second grade teacher. Don't use the word nice.
Yes. See? They're
all have
annoying.
it.
They're always there,
That's right.
And so that's my problem with writing in the first person, but I love to read in it sometimes. And when an author does it well, it just grabs you and it hooks you.
Right.
But point of view is important, and you have so many things going on that I think for your readers, you really have to stand back and see the whole picture.
Yes, and yet it's all woven together with sensitivity and love and humor. You have to throw in some humor so that the
Because if we don't laugh about it, we're going to cry.
exactly.
That's,
Right.
that's what my mom used to tell me.
Yeah, it's really been a trip, and I'm proud to be part of the Indie Film Festival, and I appreciate you having me. I'll be
thank
back
you.
with the second book.
Awesome.
That takes place in 1935 Nazi Germany, and brings us
That's cool.
all the way through till 2007, New York,
Wow.
Atlanta, Florida, all the places I'm familiar with.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Did you always feel a calling for writing, or is it something that just grew out of
10 years
that
ago,
moment?
after my divorce, I had a creative flow that came out as writing. Previously, I'd been a teacher, an artist. I did an arts and education program in elementary schools, and so my art form changed from fine arts and crafts to the writing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a great journey, and one that we love for our artists to understand is that if you're a creative mind, if you have that thing, you're a storyteller. That is what you are.
Yes.
Human beings love to tell and hear stories. We love to see them visually in our art. We love to see them on the movie screens and the television
Write about
screens.
that.
We love to write about them and to convey those stories that are important, to tell us something true about ourselves as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really neat to see when you went from teaching to in doing arts to doing writing, that carries through, and your ability to tell stories.
And now I'm encouraged because I'm getting 5-star reviews on Amazon. So
Yes, because you are a storyteller too, and every time you tell us we did good, we like it.
that's right.
And it makes us do more, and it makes us want to do better.
Right.
And that is awesome. And so your next book you're already working on?
It's already finished.
It's
It's in the
finished?
editing
Okay.
process.
Awesome.
And it's going to launch in September. I have
And that's covering a lot of ground. You got a huge time span in there from the 30s to
I
now.
do.
and-
Well, I've got to tell this woman's story, and it starts when she's 7 years old. So,
Wow.
yeah, and it moves quick, and it ends when she's in her 70s.
That's
People
amazing.
have lives. People have long lives. People have fruitful lives. People have frightening lives, and I write about people's lives.
I think that's incredible. I think that's an amazing gift. Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
it with us. Guys, we're going to put links down below to Jill Stacey's Never Been More Free. And
Thank
then
you.
as soon as she tells us that we can and that it's out there, we're going to put a link down there for She's Never Been More Free.
Right, and who knows? Next one could be They've Never Been More Free. It's going to just blow up.
You know what? I can't wait to read this because I have a feeling that after reading this and seeing the trials and tribulations of your character, we've never been more free.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Guys, we're going to thank our partners and friends before we wrap it up. I want to thank Famous Faces and Funnies, Space Coast Comics, Indie Originals. I want to thank our great friend Josh Bauer at J. Bauer Art for all the great paintings here that decorate the set. I want to thank the Foxwood Wine Company for always making our lives more comfortable. These chairs are amazing, and they make everybody want to sit and have a glass of wine. Where are you guys? We want to thank Hearts Helping Others of Central Florida for helping the communities in Central Florida. They do a great job of reaching out to families and communities. We want to thank our great friends at Krypton Radio, and we want to thank you for tuning in and logging on. Hit subscribe, come back for more. We've been hanging out with Jill Stacey, the author of Never Been More Free from IBF 2019. Keep coming back for more, guys. Keep logging on, keep tuning in, and see who we're hanging with next. Awesome, thank you so much, Jill.
Thanks,
That was
really
awesome.
appreciate it.